Have you ever had a headache? Those little pains that make you want to pull your hair out? Maybe miss a day of work? Drink some extra water? Take an Advil and lay down for a while? What if it just kept coming back day after day, year after year? Well, today we'll meet someone who did experience exactly that, a headache that lasted for 10 years. On average, adults will have about 14 primary headaches per year. For some, these are annoying but not a big deal, while for others, they can be debilitating, making it hard to do anything at all. All the identifying details have been removed to protect her privacy. Emily is a 29-year-old woman presenting to her doctor's office in Portland, Oregon. She tried over-the-counter pain medications such as ibuprofen, which provided some relief, but the pain always returned once the medication wore off. Emily worried about the persistent pain, but as the weeks went by and it showed no signs of disappearing, she began to adapt to it. For the past decade, she has been dealing with severe headaches that haven't improved with treatment, and she's hoping to find some answers. By year 3, she was working from home because the pain got worse when she left the house. And by year 4, she barely had any social life left because she was afraid that the pain would strike when she was out and not be able to drive her home. Doctors categorize them into multiple groups based on location, severity, and duration. Looked normal to everyone else, but behind closed doors, she was suffering. After seeing more than 12 doctors over the next 6 years, she finally found someone who listened to her story and took her seriously. She had been dealing with this pain for almost a decade and was exhausted from fighting for answers. But she refused to give up. This was done to visualize her brain and sinuses and identify any abnormalities that may be contributing to her headaches. She knew that there was something wrong with her and that she deserved to know why. Some suggested that it could be stress-related, while others pointed to her migraines. She kept meticulous notes, recording the intensity and duration of her pain every hour of every day. "Give me a call after the MRI," he said. "We'll figure this out together." Tucked away in a corner was a small bump. "We need to get you in for an MRI ASAP," he said. "Do you remember that small growth we saw on the CT scan?" she asked. "It's not something that will get better on its own, but it won't get much worse either." Her journey was a testament to the power of perseverance in the face of adversity. Let us know in the comments below. Slow-growing cysts often found in sinus cavities. They usually don't cause serious problems, but in some cases, they can expand and press on nearby nerves, leading to pain. In Emily's case, the cyst didn't block her breathing or cause typical sinus symptoms. Instead, it grew silently, brushing against a major nerve pathway and causing intractable, daily pain for over a decade. It evaded detection for years due to its location and small size, which goes to show how nuanced head pain can be. If you're happy with the explanation and want to move forward with surgery, then we can schedule that. I encourage you to get a second opinion. Either way, I'm glad we finally have an answer. "Yeah," he replied. "Well, I just wanted to let you know that we found out what it is." "What is it?" she asked. "It's a type of cyst called a mucocele. It's filled with fluid and was putting pressure on a nerve that runs behind your eye. That's the reason you were having pain. It pressed on that nerve." Emily stared at the wall. "Is that good news?" she whispered. "Oh yes, ma'am. Very good news. That explains why nothing else was working. This is why you have a headache for 10 years. And it's also why it was so hard to pick up with an imaging study. It's slow growing, so it never really showed up unless we used a particular dye and shot it at a specific angle. Most doctors don't think to do that, especially because you don't really look sick." She could hear the smile in his voice. "Are you sure it's not dangerous?" she asked. "Like, could this rupture or something?" "Not really. These are typically benign and harmless, but they can cause discomfort and pain, as you already know. Luckily, it wasn't blocking your breathing or giving you sinus symptoms, or we may not have noticed it for years." Emily fell silent, processing the news. She was relieved to have a diagnosis, but also frustrated that it had taken so long. "We need to figure out what this is." Emily nodded dumbly, not understanding much of the medical terminology he was dropping, but trusting that he knew what he was talking about. Today, she lives pain-free and is grateful for the day when the truth finally caught up with her. She continues to see Dr. Hansen for checkups and remains an advocate for headache research and awareness. Over the course of a year, she filled more than 2,000 pages of notebooks with her experiences, She hoped that finally the truth would come to light, and she could put an end to this decade-long mystery. So he asked, "What hurts more? When you bend forward, does it feel worse? Does bending backwards hurt more?" Emily nodded. "Yeah, forward feels terrible. Bending back doesn't do much," smiled. "Well, that's good news." She furrowed her brows. "What do you mean?" Dr. Hansen explained. "Most of the time, when I feel that type of pressure on my head, it means something's pushing on the brain. But since it's worse when you bend forward, that probably rules that out. There's another area we can check, though." She tried acupuncture, chiropractic care, massage therapy, and various medications, including triptans, anti-seizure meds, and even Botox injections. They can be sharp, stabbing, throbbing, constant, or intermittent. These words devastated her, believing that her entire life would be consumed by her pain. Every single day, no matter what pain, the question is why. Was this pain really all in her head? Was she making it up? Why wasn't anyone taking her seriously? Stay tuned, because this might just be the most confusing medical mystery we've ever seen. Yeah, most of us do. Thankfully, they usually go away. And if not, we try another pill. Maybe switch up our diet a bit, or get some extra rest. And eventually, things return to normal. But what if I told you about a headache that wouldn't go away? Not after a nap, not after drinking water, not after pills. We all examine her condition to see what happened, and what it tells us about this very common, but sometimes elusive symptom. Before I dive into the case, I have to say that this is one of the craziest stories I've ever read. So strap yourself in. She enjoyed an active lifestyle, regularly going on hikes, bike rides, and spending time reading at the local coffee shops. She had no significant health problems until one day she noticed a persistent ache above her right eye. She figured it was likely due to dehydration and continued to drink plenty of water throughout the day. However, the pain persisted even after she had quenched her thirst. One of the most common symptoms that brings people to their doctor's office is a headache. And today we'll explore the story of a young woman named Emily, who sought medical care for a headache that just wouldn't quit. This is a real case taken from a patient file. When Emily was 19, she was a graphic designer living in Portland, Oregon. Over the next few days, the pain didn't go away. It remained there constantly, persisting through the night and into the following day. However, the pain continued to intensify, becoming more frequent and more severe. By year 2, she couldn't hike anymore. The pain wasn't just physical, it took an enormous toll on her emotions. Emily felt isolated, trapped, and frustrated. As the years passed, Emily saw many doctors, each offering a different theory or treatment, but nothing helped. Sometimes the pain would be bearable, but other times it would feel like a sharp, stabbing sensation that brought her to her knees in agony. For years, she was misdiagnosed and mistreated, and she began to doubt herself. At one point, a doctor told her that she just needed to learn to live with the pain. Emily refused to give up. She continued to seek help, desperate for a diagnosis and a cure. And eventually, her persistence paid off. By this point, Emily was now 29 years old and feeling defeated. After reviewing her extensive medical history and previous scans, a new neurologist she consulted ordered one final test, a CT scan of her brain and sinuses with contrast dye. As Emily anxiously awaited the results of this last-ditch effort to diagnose her condition, the new doctor called her in. His name was Dr. Hansen. He led her to the computer. Emily peered over his shoulder at the scan. It was of her sinuses. But there was something strange in there. Dr. Hansen sent her home with instructions to take it easy and get some rest. After what felt like an eternity, Emily received a call from Dr. Hansen. "So when do we remove it?" she asked. "Well, that depends on you." In the coming months, Emily underwent surgery to drain and remove the cyst. A decade of pain had taken its toll on her, but she had emerged stronger and more resilient than ever before. Have you ever experienced a headache that just wouldn't go away? How did you feel when you couldn't find an answer? Before we wrap up, here's a simple explanation of the condition. Thanks for watching. Take care and stay healthy.